A lot of juicy storylines heading into Sunday's matchup between the Chiefs and Eagles. Obviously, you got pupil meets teacher. You got Andy Reid facing his old team again. But the history between these two teams, well, it's not so hot. It's not so sexy. They've only met 7 times. Eagles have won 4 matchups, Chiefs winning 3. And the only one that really sticks out is the game back in 2005. A nice little comeback. You guys might remember it. Chiefs and Eagles, week 4. What a comeback it was. What a horrific start by the Eagles it was. It was 17-0 within the first 16 minutes of play. Here's Sheldon Brown, however, jumping in front of an Eddie Kennison intended pass, picking it off, and returning it for the score. Extra point was missed, so the Eagles are right back in it, right? Right? Nope, you'd be wrong. Here's the original human joystick, Dante Hall, returning the ensuing kickoff all the way for the touchdown. This was his NFL record-tying 6th kickoff return touchdown for a score. That mark, however, has since been passed by Josh Cribbs and Leon Washington. The Eagles completely seized control from there, however, scoring the next 31 points. Here's Javon Kerr slicing through the offensive line, causing a fumble. Here's Terrell Owens getting the ball inside the 10. And then he scores on the very next play as McNabb rolls out to his right on a bootleg and finds T.O. in the front of the end zone. T.O., 11 receptions, 171 yards, and a touchdown. Not really sure what this dance was supposed to be, but okay, all right, okay. Targeted 20 times in this game. He was an animal. Rod Hood returned the opening second half kickoff 28 yards, putting the Eagles in good field position. And Todd France whittled the deficit to 8 after connecting from 44 yards out. France filling in for David Akers, who suffered a hamstring injury in a game earlier in the season against the Niners. Mark Simoneau had to kick an extra point in that game. After a holding penalty negated big yardage on a Terrell Owens reception, McNabb went for it all on 2nd and 17, and he was picked off by Dexter McCleon. The Eagles, though, would go on to tie this game late in the 3rd quarter. Here's McNabb to a wide-open Owens along the right sideline for 30. And then a couple snaps later, it's McNabb to T.O. again. This time on a pivot route, catch and run for 28 yards, setting the Eagles with a 1st and goal at the 3. And a snap later, it's Mike Bartram, who hauls in the 3-yard score, getting the Eagles within 2. And yes, Donovan, you gotta go for 2. On the 2-point conversion, it's Brian Westbrook, who only had 9 carries for 15 yards in this one, 6 receptions for 33 yards, but he's the one who hauls in the 2-point conversion, tying it at 24. Moving on to the 4th quarter, McNabb, who was 33 of 48, 369 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception, throws this bullet to Greg Lewis for 34 yards, and Todd France puts the Eagles in front with this 37-yard field goal. Ensuing kickoff, Dante Hall puts the ball on the ground. So all the praise for the human joystick earlier in the game, and a huge fumble here. L.J. Smith hauled in this 3rd and 7 conversion, a fortuitous bounce, bouncing off the lineman and right into the waiting arms of Smith. And 2 plays later, it's Smith again, putting the Eagles up by 10, hauling in this touchdown in the left flat. What about this Eagles defense, clamping down since the opening quarter? Here's Brian Dawkins coming on a safety blitz and gets to the quarterback for a sack. 1 play later, it's Sheldon Brown recording his 2nd interception of the game, hauling in this tip pass. Rod Hood, great coverage on Kennison along the sideline. The Eagles defense, which yielded 151 yards to the Chiefs in the first 15 minutes, well, they allowed just 202 after that over the final 3 frames. Here's Todd France with the field goal, and this game ends 37-31. The repercussions of this game, well, it wasn't pretty. Donovan McNabb's sports hernia injury kept getting worse. The relationship between Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb kept getting worse. Eagles won just 3 more games the rest of the season after starting 3-1, and just a week later in Dallas, they would start behind the 8 ball again. 17-0 after the first quarter. It's like they didn't learn their lesson from a week before. A lot of what ifs after this season in Philadelphia. What if T.O. and McNabb could have just gotten along and gotten past their enormous egos? You had to go and do sit-ups in your goddamn driveway. You had to do it. Had to do it.